You ever lose touch with a really good friend and just get eaten alive by guilt? Like, you start thinking you're just a terrible person? Well, if that's you, I promise, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not a bad friend. So let's dive into what's really going on here and figure out a way to reconnect with the people you care about without all that shame.
Man, that just hits hard, doesn't it? It's that awful feeling when you realize your silence had nothing to do with a lack of love. It was this kind of unintentional neglect that feels almost impossible to explain to someone. You know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you stumble across an old, unanswered text from someone you genuinely love. You absolutely meant to reply, you really did, but then life happened, and now the guilt is just so heavy, it's paralyzing. Okay, so first things first, I need you to take a deep breath. This is not happening because you're a bad person or because you're broken. The reason you might unintentionally ghost people is actually rooted in the way your brain is wired. We're not making excuses here, we're finding explanations. So, if we're going to fix this, we have to look under the hood. This part isn't about blame, it's about swapping that guilt for some self compassion. Let's explore what's actually going on in your brain during those long stretches of silence. Think of your working memory like a kitchen counter. It can only hold so many things at once. Now, if a friend isn't literally right there in front of you or a notification isn't popping up, they can get pushed right off that countertop to make room for something else. It has nothing to do with how much you care. It's just about limited mental real estate. And then there's this other thing going on. Your brain is basically a dopamine fiend. It's always looking for the next rewarding thing to focus on. And honestly, a quiet, thoughtful text message just can't compete with the instant hit you get from an urgent work email or some flashy social media notification. And this is a big one, time blindness. You tell yourself, oh, I'll totally reply later today. But for some brains, later is, well, it's kind of meaningless. What feels like a day or two suddenly becomes a week, then 3, and by the time you realize how long it's been, that wave of shame just washes over you.
And this is what it all comes down to, the now versus not now black hole. Your brain basically sorts everything into these two buckets. And if it's not happening right now, it gets tossed into the not now void, which is where all your good intentions and sometimes your most important relationships can just disappear.
Okay, so that's the why. That's the science part. Now, let's get to the how. Because understanding your brain is a huge first step. But the next one is all about taking action. So here it is, a clear 4-step playbook to finally break this cycle and start reconnecting. We're going to walk through 4 really powerful strategies: getting vulnerable, externalizing your friendships, using visual reminders, and then gamifying the follow-up. And the great thing about this system, it's designed to work with your brain's unique wiring, not against it. This one's tough, I know, but it is so important. It's about having that honest conversation, actually telling your friend, hey, I care about you so much, but sometimes my brain just loses track of time and I go quiet. It is never, ever personal. This turns your shame into a team sport. You can even ask them to double text you if they don't hear back. All right, step 2. We can't always trust our brains to remember, right? So we have to outsource the job. Seriously, put relationship sprints in your calendar. Just a recurring 15-minute block every few days dedicated to sending quick texts. Let your calendar do the heavy lifting for you.
I love this one. Think of it as your emotional armor. Stick a Post-it note with a friend's name on your monitor, put a photo of you two on your fridge. By keeping them physically in your space, you're keeping them in that now category in your brain, which makes it way harder to forget.
Look, if reaching out feels like a chore, your brain is going to nope right out of there. So let's make it a game. Start a social streak. How many days in a row can you send just one message? Mark it on a calendar. Seeing that progress gives you a little dopamine hit that makes connecting feel like a win. Okay, I know those 4 steps might still feel like a lot to take on all at once. So let's just boil it all down to the single most powerful thing you can do, like right now, today, to break that paralysis and start over. That's it. Just 1%. That is all it takes. You don't have to write a perfect 5-paragraph apology text. The goal here isn't perfection, it's connection. This is all about building micro momentum with the tiniest possible effort. So what does a 1% message even look like? Oh, it's way simpler than you think. It's sending a heart emoji. It's forwarding a funny meme that made you think of them. It's a 5-second voice note that just says, hey, I'm totally swamped, but I'm thinking of you. It's just enough to keep that connection warm without triggering that guilt that stops us. So please, hear me on this. There is nothing wrong with you. Your brain is not broken. It just runs on a different operating system.
And the people who truly matter, they'll be willing to learn how it works, right there alongside you.
So I have a question for you. Who's that one person who popped into your head while you were watching this? Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. Just send that 1% message. Send it right now. And stop letting your brain ghost the people who really, really want to be in your corner.